What's good, guys? CJ here, and welcome back to another Arknights Endfield video. Today we gotta react to Gacha Smack. A lot of you guys sent me this video, wanted me to check it out. It's titled, I played Arknights Endfield for 40 hours. Here's the shocking truth. Now, I really want to see what Smack has to say. I've watched all the videos on stream you guys have sent me to react from Smack himself. And I gotta say, he's pretty level-headed with pretty much all of the takes you guys have sent me. I think I agree with him on most things he has to say, but like always, there could be a difference with this here video. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to give you guys my non-sponsored opinion, impressions, or review, whatever you want to call it, on Arknights Endfield after...
Yo, you know what's crazy, chat? This is like the third video you guys have sent me where the creator has to clarify it's a non-sponsored opinion. And you know why they have to do that, bro? Because if he's gonna say some good things about this game, someone's gonna be in the comments, yeah, this is a sponsored video. You got sponsored to do this, because there is just no way that people could enjoy a game without being sponsored. It's crazy to me.
It's been out a little roughly over 6 days, coming up on a full week here.
Yeah.
I have made it to Wuling, strictly free to play, and I just unlocked my first AIC factory over there in Wuling, just for a little bit of information for those of you keeping up with the Arknights Endfield playthrough.
I just want to point this out. If you haven't gotten to Wuling, Wuling will put any 1.1 patch of your favorite gacha game to shame. Wuling, an area in 1.0 of Arknights Endfield, will make any 1.0 patch in your favorite gacha game look like it was designed in 1994 using paint. I just want to put that out there. I'm just saying.
Now, I want to basically convey to the best of my capabilities what my experience has been like in terms of the game versus the gacha, the pressure or need to interact with the gacha garbage,
Yeah.
such as the shop, or pulling on characters in order for me to have a fun time through the game's progressional phase.
I like how he worded that. Gacha's gacha, bro, regardless of his, you know, Wuwa gacha, Arknights gacha, Genshin gacha. At that point, if you're really going into the deep end, trying to attack one gacha system and defend another one, first off, you're weird, and second off, all gacha systems, regardless of the game, they're all shit. So when you try to say which one is better of the other one, and you're trying to like fight all of these different gacha systems and pit them against each other, you're basically trying to point out which piece of shit you like better. And you're just putting a little bit of sprinkles on a turd that you preferably like. But at the end of the day, gacha is gacha, and it's all slop and it's all shit. It's just simple as that.
This is an important question to answer for many of you guys. Now, a lot of people come to me for my opinions. They always want to know my thoughts and what I think of a game, because apparently I've done a good job explaining these things. I'm here to tell you that I genuinely believe Arknights Endfield has had one of the best 1.0 experiences in my gacha tenure.
He's played a lot of gachas, and I gotta agree. I don't remember the last time I booted up a gacha game in a 1.0 launch, and I felt like I was playing an actual video game. It's always a gacha. You can tell it's a gacha over everything else, and then everything else it's afterwards. In this game, the core of the game is so well done that it feels like you're playing a game. It's been my most enjoyable experience from a 1.0 gacha game I think that I've ever had. And I've played a lot of gacha games, bro. From idle games to the big titles to everywhere in between. And this has felt like I'm playing an actual video game as opposed to playing a gacha game.
And the reason I say that is because it's been more of a game as opposed to a gacha game.
See what I'm saying? Bro, look. I've never spoken to Gacha Smack, like, ever. I think I've commented on one stream that he's had once or twice. I don't interact with a lot of these YouTubers, and I'm also a very small YouTuber, so I have no reason to, like, agree or glaze or whatever y'all want to say. But this here motherfucker, he's a grown-ass man with a wife and kids, and I can relate to people like that, bro. I don't have kids, but I have a very stable relationship. I love my girl, and I have a family that I take care of and everything. And I can see when he speaks about shit, oftentimes it's very level-headed, bro. And what he just said is exactly the point that I'm talking about when you play Arknights Endfield. This shit feels like an actual video game with gacha on it. Whereas every other game that I play, whether it's Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact, any of these open-worldly big titles, you can, bro, you open that game, you boot it up, and within the first 10, 20, 30 minutes of playing the game, you smell the shit. You can tell it's a gacha game. At least this game puts some sprinkles on the shit, and you don't instantly tell it's a gacha game, okay?
Most of the time when you play gacha games, and I want to explain this, you feel like you have to pull on a limited banner characters. You feel like you might have to spend some money.
Yeah.
Just because they've done a shit job with the cohesion or balance of gacha and video game experience, right? But there's some caveats and nuance to this, because a big part of Arknights Endfield in its gameplay loop is the factory system.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that factory system and you're not playing it to enjoy that factory system, you're gonna just only get the experience of what you typically get in gacha games, which is wait on the new characters, play the combat, and you get bored of that team and you want to play with another team, and then so you want to pull on more characters, but that just turns into your typical gacha garbage loop of there's no real content in this game. It's surface level as fuck. The only thing we do is we wait on a story update, we play it through, and then we grab the newest character, we play them, we get bored, and we wait on the next update.
That is it. That's as deep as a gacha game. Your traditional gacha games right now on the market are, whether you're a Wuwa fan or you're a Genshin fan. And before you Wuwa fans come at me, don't make me pull out my Wuwa account. You don't want to go there. I support Kuro more than all of y'all. I'm just saying. But he just described the entirety of the loop of what a gacha game is. You go in, you summon on a character, you build the character, there is nothing else to do. There is no extra factor to the game. There's nothing else to do outside of get the unit, build a unit, beat the story. That's it. There is no other extra activity that gives it more depth. You don't have that in Arknights Endfield. Arknights is a game that it has that basic feature that gacha games have, the slop. But the complexity of the factory system that just doesn't revolve around the factory itself, like when you're in the base building it, but how it interacts with the world. How you explore and you get these nodes and you got to take power to them and put these mining stations there. How the energy you can use to take to these certain areas and connect them to a door that opens a secret door, or a door that's locked that gets you some secret rewards and stuff like that. It's so intricate how you craft your own gear through it all. It's so much deeper than your traditional gacha game. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of people attack this game, and it's because they don't like the factory system. And I'm gonna be real, I don't like the factory system. I might be smooth-brained, I don't know. I personally don't like the factory system. And before y'all say anything, I love building games. I play Ark. I have thousands and thousands of hours in Ark. I have thousands of hours in many other games around that same style. I played Dune recently. I just got into Hytale. I love building games, and I can spend hours just building houses in these games. The factory, though, is not my thing. I don't like it. It looks ugly, right? It's complicated. But little by little, I've been able to, dip my toes into the factory system, copying some people's blueprints and putting them down. Stuff like that. Little by little, I've been able to see how it's interesting to have that factory system. And that's one of the things that gives Arknights Endfield a little bit more depth than a lot of other games out there.
Right. That is typically the perpetual cycle of a gacha game.
Yep.
Arknights Endfield has given me an experience that separates itself from those literally because of its factory system.
Yep.
It's a massive time sink. It's a game in and of itself, trying to optimize it, trying to set things up, and trying to learn. The learn, I will just throw in as a honeymoon phase thing, because if you're learning, you're having a lot of fun. But once the learning ends, are you still going to be having fun, right? That's an important question to ask yourself too. And
I just want to point this out. Right now, it's just like he said, this is the first the first part, once you get done learning your factory system, or you understand it, whether it takes you a day or a week or a month, eventually not only will you understand it, and it might not be as fun because you already get it and it just seems like the basic thing, but with the factory system in this game, once you set it up and you have it all working, it will be a time where you don't have to mess with it anymore, because it just works on its own. It works. It just keeps working and keeps doing its own thing automatically. So you won't have to mess with it as much. So I get where he's coming from with that, and I do agree.
I think with Arknights Endfield, one big challenge it's going to face in the long run is how it can continue to keep that factory system fresh.
Yeah.
Because if players get to a point where they're fully optimized and all of their shit is working the way it needs to be working, they're going to go, what the fuck do we do now? And now you're just no different from, you know, any other gacha game.
And I just want to throw this out there. I feel that it's still always just going to be a factory system on that end, unless they truly do come out with things that changes it. Which, I'm going to be real, I don't think they'll have a problem with that. But will they really change it too much constantly? I don't know. But if you go from, like, the first map that you're playing, and then you go to Wuling, in Wuling, there's already a new mechanic, water. And water is a whole nother thing that works into your gear. You got to make sure you prep it, you got to make sure you do it right, and it all works into making new things in Wuling. So maybe down the road, they can add other maps, other worlds that have, you know, things like this. Windmills in a very freaking windy area. Or like you'll go to a lava planet and you'll have to use the lava to make something, right? Who knows? We'll see how it works. But because they utilize the elements and the things in the world, there is a lot of possibilities to make that mode a lot more intricate and a lot more interesting as time goes on. But we'll see what they do with
So
that.
I think one big challenge for this game is going to be maintaining that freshness with the factory system.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to breed innovation, to constantly build upon it and add more things to make it more interesting and continue that learning curve, which I don't know if they can do that. But I think with the new maps and the way that they've set this up, you have to start all over again when you go to brand new maps. Your factory is completely wiped, and there's even new map interactables and new factory mechanical intricacies that you have to learn in order to traverse, in order to build, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that breeds a good replay loop. The next topic is what
I think you just covered that very well. I think that's true. I personally, a lot of people don't like the factory, and a lot of people don't mess with that. It breeds a intricate new system that you got to learn and understand, which makes the world feel fresh. Oftentimes I go from like one area of like, you know, let's say Wuwa to the next, and there's like nothing different, and then the only big differences that you can point out are minimalistic, like maybe puzzles, maybe, and then maybe like a new, now recently since 2.0, a new traversal mechanic, you know, flight or the bike. But other than that, if you take that away, for the most part, the core of it is like the same. Whereas in here, you got to use these things to solve puzzles that are actually impactful to the map and apply that into your factory, which makes the world feel different. Instantly, it feels different. There's other ways to interact with it.
What does my account look like as a free-to-play player? How has the pressure been to pull on the limited characters because I feel like my characters suck? I'll be real, this has also been a great experience. The only thing that has sucked about this experience is not having enough resources to build up all the characters that I own. Which
all the characters that you own? Ooh, okay. That's interesting, considering that in no other gacha game, this early on at least, you'll be able to build all the characters. I don't know of all the gacha games, but I don't know many gacha games that at least within a week you're able to build up all the characters that you own. Usually people will stick with one team, maybe two teams, and then after they got those teams settled, they'll start building everything else. So we'll see what he has to say about this.
is a problem that exists in all gacha games.
Okay,
on
there you
launch.
go.
They just cuck you on the resources.
Yeah.
I don't have the luxury to build up all these different characters.
Yeah.
And I have unfortunately been using the exact same team the entirety of Arknights Endfield playthrough in my experience.
Okay, so have I. And I'm pretty sure most of us that are gacha gamers know that's just the way gacha games are, like he said. So we've all been using one team. Maybe we started with one and swapped to another one down the road, like I did. I started with Last Right's team and I swapped over to Lavender's team, you know what I'm saying? And now I love her, you know. but I haven't really continued to invest on my ice team. I've just gone balls deep into Laundromat's team, and I've made sure that all my resources go into her, and once that team is fully said and done, then I'll go into another team. But for now, we've pretty much all been playing with just one team. And once you get deeper into the game and you get up to that point where you're making like gold gear and getting all your characters to max level and their weapons to max level, at least for the beginning days and the beginning week or two, you might only get 1, 2, 3 characters to max level, their weapons to max level, because resources in games like this, you're just not going to have an overflow of resources where you can max out every character within the first, few days or few weeks of these type of games.
But to be fair, I don't really care because the combat is not the main reason I'm playing the game, which is odd. That's very odd. I always play these games for the combat experience. It's now like a second-hand type of experience. Okay. Obviously, you have to interact with combat because it goes hand in hand with getting through the game, playing the modes, so on and so forth. But I am more so enjoying this factory system as the number one enjoyment, and then I'm using it obviously to develop my characters and then go test them out and see how they feel with the new gear on and stuff.
That's so interesting when he points that out, that the thing he likes the most from this game and he's enjoying the most is the factory system, because for me, the thing that I've been enjoying the most has been the overworld exploration and the aesthetics of the game, right? That's what I've been enjoying the most. Second would be combat, and third would be the factory system, right? Factory system would be last. But the exploration aspect of the game, the graphics and aesthetics of this game have been amazing, and then the factory. So you got two players, right, that will tell you entire modes and entire activities from this same game, how they're playing it from different aspects. And they're not just like, I play this for the graphics, I play this for the waifus. No, we're talking about actual entire activities. He enjoys the factory system. I enjoy the exploration. Someone else can tell you they enjoy the combat. When I go back and look at games like, for example, Wuwa or Genshin, there is not that much that is truly diverse. You might say I play this game to collect characters, and someone else will tell you I play this game for the combat, and someone else will tell you I play this game for the story, right? But they're not actual, like, full-on, deep activities. This game has a story, so you could say that too. But when it comes to the actual amount of content, it's just the same thing. This game has actual content that is very different, that adds another layer to it, bro.
So the build system and the factory system are my main enjoyments. The combat's the next enjoyment, just to see how it's all playing out. And that I will always enjoy that aspect. To be honest, that's one of the cool things about gacha games. But when you think about this, I only have 4 characters, and 2 of the 4 characters are 4 stars. Okay. Not 4 stars in Wuhan Genshin. 4 stars because this game has 6-star characters.
Yep.
Which means they are the equivalent of a 3-star, which doesn't exist in Wuwa and Genshin. So you would think, at least I thought too, oh, these characters are definitely garbage. There's no way they're going to be good. They have been great. They have been carrying the shit out of my account all the way into Wuling.
Yeah.
2 4-star characters. And then the final character is a 5-star. So my team is unbelievably free-to-play friendly and relatable, should I say so myself.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this game. Like, if I go and show you guys my team, right, obviously I'm playing with Laundromat, Lavatane, and she is the limited banner character, but my other team members, I have a 5-star from the banner, just a normal 5-star. I have a 4-star that is very, very good. And then I have a free healer that everybody gets on their 3rd day of playing. That's the team that I'm playing. And before I played this team, the team that I was playing was Last Right, which was the character I got on my summons. I was playing Zaihi, another 5-star character. I was playing a 4-star in Antal, and then I was playing no, I wasn't playing Antal. I was playing Perlica, another 5-star, and the healer that you get for free in the game. Right? And I was clearing everything with this team as well. No problem whatsoever. So the 4 stars, which would technically be like 3 stars in a game like Wuwa, are actually insane. You're able to clear all of that. There was a dude that beat this game in 27, or not beat the game, but did almost everything you can do in 27 hours, so in like a day plus. And he did it all by just using the characters that you were getting in the game. His team has like 3, 5, or 4-star characters, mixed and matched. And he did that no problem, completely free to play. You know, every bit of the content.
Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is that I have already in the first week completely free to play with under, I guess, 40 hours. I feel like I'm probably at 30 hours, honestly. I'm probably at 30, 35. Who knows? I've already got 3 teams locked and loaded, ready to go. The biggest problem is the resource shortage, the gacha garbage. I can't even.
The gacha garbage is just going to be there with all of these games. That's true. But the fact that he said it himself, he has 3 teams, and these teams aren't even bad. These teams will clear the content that you need to clear. And they're all very good teams. Like this team, Electro team, super good, right? And then he just showed all the other teams that he has. So he's ready to go with these teams without even spending, you know, $20 in the game, which is really good. And if you actually play Arknights, and you built these teams and put resources into them and actually fight enemies that have a little bit of HP and have interesting move pools, you will see how these teams are very different from one another.
Build them up, because then my first team, which is my main team, would suffer from getting developed further.
Yeah. And
so that is a problem. You're 100% going to run into it. And if you try and Oprah Winfrey your account, give everybody the Oprah Winfrey treatment, you're going to suffer from that. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to happen. So that is one like bad thing. But other than that, the fact that I have so many teams already within the first week without spending a single penny is a real big W. Not only is that a W, check this out. I have gotten literally a signature weapon for Last Right, and I didn't do a single pull on the limited banner. The only pulls I've done on the limited banner were the pulls they give you exclusive to the limited banner. You may not know this, so I'll explain it briefly. There's these pulls in the shop, and you can literally, and I do mean this, only use them towards, oh, did I grab them all already? Yeah. You can only use these towards the character that's being promoted. And
I will say this right here has its negatives and its positives. I think the pulls that you can buy from the shop should be universal pulls. I think they should be the yellow pulls. It would make it easier because you can just stop them and save them until you want. I think that would be a lot better. It would make a lot of people happier if they were universal pulls, because if you're going to be getting these once a month or whatever it is, I do think it would be better if you get to use these pulls on whatever you want rather than being forced on using it on the current banner. With that said, though, you do get, if you want, to use these on the current banner and build pity up to that 80, before 80. If you don't hit the 80 mark and you haven't gotten a character, that pity will transfer over to the next one. But I still think it would be better if you were able to save these for whatever banner you want, okay?
they expire when the banner expires. So you have to use them, right? Once again, gotcha garbage, right? But that said, I've been using them. They're free. I don't give a damn. I haven't used a lick of my currency up here. I have 74 pulls somewhere around there saved up, and I don't even feel the need to pull on the limited banner character.
So he has an insane amount of content to still do because he hasn't cleared all of Wuling. He hasn't done a lot of stuff. He's not like max level or level 50 plus. And he already has enough pulls to reach pity on this banner or whatever limited banner he decides to pick on. And he's still going to get a few more of the pulls for this banner to continue building that pity, and he'll continue to get daily login currency, the weeklies, the shop refreshes, to continue saving for upcoming banners, right? For upcoming banners. So the currency is not all too bad. The income is not too bad. That is, we are in honeymoon period. We're at the beginning of the game. There's a lot of, resources that will be cashed out. And after that, we will have to see what the income is on a monthly basis. But I feel that once we get there and we have that actual information, well, we'll tackle that head on. But for now, it seems pretty good for the launch of the game. Not the greatest of all time. You ain't playing this game for an hour and getting 100 pulls, but you are getting enough pulls to reach the pity on this banner within the first week of playing if you just grind it out a little bit, which is nowadays apparently a sin to tell people to play the games.
I would like to reinforce the reason I don't have a pressure or care in the world. I don't even care about how much I have up there. Is because of the factory system and the power grid, the ever expanding power grid as you go through the maps. That has been such a time sink, such a focus and a commitment that it gets me into this mentality of not even knowing, like, I don't even care what's going on in the fucking limited banner chartered system. I don't care. So I'm like, I'm having my fun.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said it's so important, guys, that people understand what they're playing this game for. If you aren't enjoying that factory system and that power grid expansion, you might not have a good time. It's probably just not the game for you. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna be real with that take though. I don't enjoy the factory system. It's not my cup of tea, and I'm enjoying the hell out of this game. I don't want to sell it too short to you guys by saying that the factory system is the majority of this game, and if you don't like the factory system, then you're not gonna like Arknights Endfield, because personally myself, I don't mess with the factory like at all. I've done superficial builds to like make money, and those builds have been from like either people online or friends sending me the blueprints, and I just paste them and then they start working, and or we cook them together in a VC. But I haven't gone there. If you look at all my bases, none of them have a fucking insane puzzle of a factory. They're all like simple builds with like, you know, things put on there. And the fact is that even if you don't like the factory system, but you still like exploring, you explore, you take the power to all the mining nodes, which I found fun. It made it feel like I was completing the map, exploring. Pretty cool. Eventually, you'll have enough resources to just copy someone's blueprint. Copy, paste, and you'll have everything done, right? You won't have to worry about it too much, which is the thing that makes it that even if you don't like the factory system, even if you don't mess with it, you still have a lot of content that is very high quality. The exploration, the platforming in the game doesn't feel like just you're running around vaulting over a hill and like you get there and there's a bush. And here there's like puzzles that opens doors that reveal secret things. You gotta eventually get some bombs, craft some bombs to open up other passages. The platforming in this game is really good. So there's a lot of aspects that are quite interesting outside of the factory. But yes, the factory is a big part of the game. And eventually, even if you don't like the factory, you will have to get involved with it. Just don't make it to a thing where you think that if you don't get involved and you don't do all these complex builds, then you're not going to play the game and there's nothing else to do. You will get involved with it, but you can take it at your own pace, little by little, and eventually start understanding, oh, now I got to make some batteries. Oh, now I got to make some money. Oh, now I got to make some med packs. And little by little, you start getting that out there.
I mean, if you do love that, it's good because then you don't feel the need to actually care about the gacha system. You just have your fun with that aspect and you use whatever you got. This is something I wanted to point out. Look how many weapons I have in the first week of this gacha game. Bro, that is an insane amount of weapons. Coming from Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact when they first launched, first of all, they give you the most dog shit free-to-play options, and then you pull on the character banner, and you might get a weapon that you need, right? You might not. And then you got like a shortage of weapons. You also don't have as many characters to choose from. And then you're staring at the signature weapon banner that looks very fucking enticing because you don't have a lot of weapons. In this game, I have first of all, getting a signature weapon on a character without even touching and pulling on the signature banner, the limited chartered banner, is insane to me. It is.
I just want to point that out as well. There's a lot of people that like to point and like attack this game, and it's because they don't look at the whole picture, so they like to pick at specific aspects to paint the narrative that benefits them, right? They want to say the game is shit and the gacha system is shit, or this aspect of the game is shit, and they'll specifically attack certain aspects of the game without painting the full picture. The fact that you can pull on the weapon banner without using your like actual paid currency or your fancy currency is crazy. The fact that you do standard banner pulls, and you gradually get the currency to eventually pull in the weapon banner is pretty freaking sick. That's actually insane, bro. The amount of weapons this game gives is crazy. Like, a lot of people will say it's shit. Like, for example, yesterday I saw a video of someone saying it was shit because the amount of weapons that are in the roster, right? So right here, there's a lot of weapons. I'm gonna point it to you like this. The pity on this banner is still 80, the same as like Wuwa or whatever, to guarantee yourself the weapon. The only difference is that, let's say you gotta go to max pity to get this weapon. I kid you not, you're at least gonna get 1 or 2 other 6-star weapons along your journey. That's how crazy the actually rates are for this banner. Like, the rates The base drop rate of a 6-star weapon is 4%. I know that might seem like it's slow, but it's way higher than most of the mainstream gacha games. So you will, even if you have to go to pity, probably 90% chance you will get at least 1 or 2 other 6-star weapons, which is crazy to me. Bro, I've never done this many pulls on a weapon banner from like Wuwa or whatever and gotten this many like doubles in just one pity run. I have videos on my channel on getting like double weapons multiple times, and even double characters multiple times, but I have S6R5 like 10 units in that game. So there has been a lot of chances. Whereas in here, I did one pity run. Chat, one pity run to get this weapon, because this shit made me go to pity, which was fucking painful. But one pity run to get here. And bro, look at what I got, bro. Look at what I got, bro. Look at what I got, bro. I got all of this from, not this one. I got this 3 times. I got this. I got, I believe this. Bro, come on now. That's a lot of weapons before I actually reach pity. So that's insane. That's actually pretty crazy to me. On top of that, I was able to summon on her weapon as well for last right because I just had the currency laying around. So the fact that you're able to summon on the banners for the weapons without necessarily summoning for the character specific and then or having to use your specific currency is really good. The worst thing that you could possibly say, the biggest sin that you can point at this game is the fact that it's going to require you to be a little bit smart with how you use your pulls. That's the biggest gripe I can tell. And there is some other shit that I will say regarding the banner system, but I'll leave that for another video that we'll be reacting to after this.
This is insane to me. The fact that I got a sick. Now there's a caveat. I won my 25%er on the quota exchange, but at the same time, I got a guaranteed 6-star weapon at 40 pulls. That is insane to guarantee a 6-star weapon at 40 pulls without, once again, spending money or interacting with the limited banner, because they gave me so many standard banner pulls. I also have 2 more 6-star weapons in boxes that I have yet to use. I looked at these. They look kind of mid. This looks like one of those 6-star boxes that really just gave you some bullshit, right? But this,
I will say though, even if he said that though, like right here for this weapon banner, this box, there are some good options, right? Thermite Cutter is a very good weapon. You can definitely put that in. It's just going to be a support type of weapon. Very good. The Sundered Prince is a good option for several characters if you don't have anything else that you can slot on them. Oblivion you can rock on a lot of other characters as well. So this is not a bad thing, but the fact they give you a 6-star weapon box is still pretty good.
Gave you some bullshit, right? But this box is a fucking banker.
Yeah, this box is really, really good. Detonation unit is very, very solid, right? Wedge is a very solid option for Wolf. Very good weapon. White Knight Nova is a very solid option as well for some characters. Jet is also a very good spear. So this weapon box has a lot of good options.
This box is a banker, and I'm gonna choose carefully. I'm eyeing the gun, and I'm eyeing this sword probably for that freaking electric girl, or I'm eyeing this for my spear girl that I played in the beta. That bitch is a banker. This girl right here, chat. I played this girl in the beta. Her. She is amazing. Amazing character. And she's a 5-star. She's not even a 6-star.
So many people love this character. So many people love that character. They say she's so good.
Basically, not getting off track, I have been relatively impressed, or not, I'm not going to say impressed. I've been pleased with the free-to-play experience in terms of the utilities and all of the things that surround you getting through the game. You know what I mean? Because usually when you're using the scraps, you're having a tough time. I've been getting through this game clapping cheeks. You know, I got her signature weapon. She's got on a 5-star weapon right here.
Hold on, before he continues, I think that what he said definitely needs to be pointed out even more, because some people will not listen to it. When you're getting through this game with 4-star and 5-star characters, you're not just getting through the game. You're doing it by clapping cheeks. You're absolutely demolishing all the content. If you're doing your team right, you're doing your right team comp, you're doing it really effectively. Like, you're clearing the content in a very smooth manner where you don't feel weak. You're actually feeling strong in all kinds of content. Like, all kinds. Not just like the stupid little overworld mobs, but like even challenging boss fights and everything. You're doing it extremely well. Because I know there's going to be somebody that says, well, even with the free-to-play characters in Wuwa or in Genshin, I could do that too. You can beat the content in those games. But it's going to be a lot more sluggish. It's going to be a lot more shitty. The gameplay quality is going to feel a little bit bricked. In this game, you don't have that. It feels smooth as hell when you play with any of these teams, bro.
She's got on a 5-star weapon. I ended up getting that too. And she's got on a 5-star weapon too. Like, everybody's got a 5-star weapon on, boys. And so I haven't had any problems with building up my characters. And then the gear in this game is literally crafted through the factory, right? So people go, oh, the free-to-play experience has been horrible. I've had a complete different experience free-to-play wise. I've had an incredible free-to-play experience. Look at this too, by the way. This is also important to point out. When I come over here to this standard banner, I have done already, first of all, if we take into account the New Horizon, which is the new banner that guarantees you a character,
40
I did
pulls there.
Full pity. They hoed me on that. I had to go all the way to 50.
Yep.
And I got my Ember, right? So that is 50 pulls or 40 pulls, right? Actually, yeah, because it stops at 8.
Yeah.
8 pulls,
40
we go all
pulls.
the way down. Okay, so 5 times 8 is 40 pulls. Now, in the basic headhunting, we've done a shit ton here too, and they keep giving them in a lot of ways. Now, this is launch. We'll see if this slows down. You know it will.
Yeah.
But that's 80 pulls. So we've done 120 standard pulls already. And from that 120 standard pulls, we've already been able to acquire 3 teams. We've just been playing just one of them. And so the free-to-play experience has been pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah.
I got my weapons. I've got them built. They're actually synergistic. I got a standard banner character, not a limited banner character, and we're clapping cheeks.
And let's not also point out that in the time he's getting all of these teams running, the character with her signature weapon, he has just about enough pulls currently, without even continuing to progress in the game, to get to pity on the limited banner. On the limited banner, he has enough to get to pity right now, right? And if he plays a little bit more, he'll probably guaranteed be able to get to that 120 guaranteed pity that will give him the limited banner character. So he would have been able to get 3 teams rolling and then a 4th team with the limited banner character if he so desired.
That has been pretty freaking nice. Another thing I almost forgot to talk about in terms of my free-to-play player experience is being able to unlock the mid portion of the battle pass by simply using Orgeometry that you get playing through the game.
Yep. So in this game, there's 3 battle passes. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but it's not. They have the basic supply, just everybody gets this shit. They have the middle supply, which is the Originium supply. You get this Orgeometry by playing the game and doing activities and tasks. You're able to buy this middle pass with it, and this has some very good loot in it, so make sure you guys are buying this, right? And then down here is the paid version of the pass, of course, but this middle pass right here is very, very good.
And this is fascinating. This is like a cook. I've never seen this before. But you do this completely free, and then they give you back the resource you put in to purchase it. They give it back to you plus more. So you just get a free battle pass, not even at the expense of Orgeometry. You get that back.
Yep. It reminds me of Fortnite, bro. In Fortnite, when I played back in the day, I would buy the battle pass, and then I would grind out the battle pass. If I'm not mistaken, by completing the battle pass in Fortnite, you get the currency back that you spent in the battle pass. So you could just continue buying the battle pass. Basically, with this, you buy this, right? You use your Orgeometry, right? And you can continue buying this for free. And this thing has some really good stuff in it, bro. And you can just continue buying it. That's lit.
On top of that, this mid portion, I thought, oh, maybe they give you shit rewards. No, they give you credits. They give you things you need to upgrade your weapons. They give you stamina to double up on currency. Stamina consumption. This is going to be for promoting operators to E3, E4, developing them higher. And then you even get another 6-star weapon selector.
Another one.
Another 6-star weapon selector on top of the ones we already got.
So every time the battle pass refreshes, right? So I'm guessing it's like after every 3 banners or whatever, because the way they have it set up is kind of weird. you'll have another one of these that will give you, once again, another 6-star weapon selector, and some very valuable resources like this thing right here, which is pretty damn crazy.
People are not looking at this gacha game in terms of its free-to-play friendly nature as a whole picture. They're only looking at like one part of the picture. But when you look at the whole,
Bro, I'm telling y'all, Gacha Smack and I just got to get into a call, bro. A lot of times when I react to his shit, we end up saying the same thing. I'll say some things at some point in the video, and this dude will say something that I just said, like, way down the line into the video. Like, it's just the same type of mentality regarding things like this, bro. I cover DNA. He talked about DNA. He's not even a giant fan of DNA. He doesn't know life it like I did for so long. And when he spoke about it, it was the same type of scenario. He just said that, and I just said this earlier, bro. People, when they shit talk this game, and then they want to say, oh, this game is really good, but, and then they'll continue to say like the one or two things about the game is really good, and then they'll shit on it, and they'll write an entire Harry Potter book shitting on the game. And then when you call them out for being haters or shit talking the game, they'll be like, nah, I'm not shit talking the game. I've said the game is good too, but I'm just pointing out what's so bad about it. But they do it in a way where they like encompass these little things without pointing the big picture, just to make the game seem like shit, to like attack it. And it's just ridiculous, bro, because there are so many aspects of the game. This is not your superficial type of gacha game. There are so many different aspects, and there are other aspects that you can get into that also give you some really good currency and rewards.
whole picture, there's actually a lot of stuff that is given to you in this game to set up your experience as you progress through the game.
Yeah.
As a relatively good free-to-play experience.
Yeah.
There's definitely the downsides. There's definitely the gacha garbage. But it's pretty damn sick. And even for budget players, you unlocked, which me, I'm a budget player. I'm free to play now, but I always eventually turn into the budget player. You buy that battle pass down there, and now you start getting the Arsenal tickets along with it as well. Not selling you guys, just telling you, you get even more resources that add into that budget to free to play experience, right? So,
bro, the battle pass, the paid battle pass, and I'm not selling the battle pass to y'all either, guys. You do with your money what you want. It's probably one of the better battle passes I've seen by a mile. Usually, when you play these other games, you'll get a battle pass and they'll give you like a purple weapon that is kind of mid. You never really use them. This game, on top of all the shit in here, where they literally give you currency for the weapon banners, including the currency that you can use on the limited weapon banners. They give you that from the battle pass. They give you a good amount. A good amount is not like 5-10 pulls. No, they give you a good amount to do summons, right? They also give you another 5-star weapon box. So you buy this, bro, you buy this and you buy this, and now you get 5-star, 6-star. So now you get this, and now you get 2 6-star weapons, bro. 2 6-star weapons in your battle pass. Stop it, bro. Plus the currency to use on the weapon banner, including the limited weapon banner. What are we talking about?
I'm a big fan of this. I like what they're doing here. I think this is a hell of a cook. To summarize all of that up, I think a lot of people just heavily underestimated the entire picture of what a free-to-play experience can look like. A lot of people talk about the gacha system, the 50-50 and all of that, but they weren't talking about how many weapons you get just playing through the game. They weren't talking about how viable the 4-star characters are, as well as the 5-star characters, as well as how many you get of them in order to make up your one team. They also didn't talk about how you just can use one team to go through the entirety of 1.0.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these factors go into a free-to-play player experience. But if all you zone in on is how many pulls you did on the chartered banner or how many pulls you're getting to start off with, then you're going to view that experience as a negative experience. I also would urge you to take into consideration too, if all you think about is just pulling on characters, this game is going to be garbage for you.
Yep. The reason for that is because this is an actual video game. This is an actual game that has actual content, bro. There is shit to do in this game. You don't hop into this game hoping to just get a bunch of pulls within an hour or two of playing the game, summon and scratch that summonage, that crackhead addiction. You don't get that in this game. You have a game. an actual video game where you can go in, learn a bunch of shit, because there's a bunch of shit to learn in this game. So much shit that they have 355, 122 tutorials because there is so much crap. And if they didn't give you those tutorials, then you would complain that they didn't teach you how to do shit. I mean, I've skipped some of the tutorials, that's why I'd be lost at times, but there's a lot of tutorials, which can be a little tedious. You don't have to do them, though. You don't got to be forced to do all of them. But there is a lot to do in this game. If you just want a superficial experience where you go in and you play for 2 hours and get like 80 pulls, 100 pulls, and then you summon and then maybe reroll or play another game, this is not going to be the game for you. This plays more like an actual RPG than like your traditional gacha game.
But if you think about the factory system, the grid, and all the time sink that goes into that stuff, the preparation, as well as the enjoyment if you're having fun, that takes away from you even caring about pulling on characters and the gacha garbage and going to spend on the shops to try and develop people. Once again, I think a lot of people spend so much time not even playing the game for combat. They just playing it. Well, if you're not looking at Fluorite's ass and Last Right's ass, then you might be looking at Ember's ass. And if you're not looking at hers, then you're probably looking at Levitane's titties. And if you're not looking, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, there's just a lot more to do in Arknights Endfield. Once again, because of that factory system.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't exist in other gacha games. You do their story, you get off. It's pretty much it. Like, you do the story, you do the little in-game mode, you do the combat, and then you get off.
Yeah, and I want to point this out. I played Genshin and Wuwa when they first came out. I would do 12 hours daily streams on Wuwa when it launched. 12 hours. And a lot of times, people in my community often, like, talk about how they remember those like long 12-hour streams when I was playing Wuwa, and they missed how I used to stream 12 hours of Wuwa. And I went back and, you know, kind of like looked at what I was doing. Like, I thought about what I was doing for those 12 hours in the Wuwa launch, and it was like, I wasn't really doing shit. I played the story, and then I would stream for 12 hours, running around the world, killing overworld enemies for echoes and picking mint. That's it. And this was less than a week, if maybe a week into the game's launch. That's it. That's all I was doing. There was nothing else. Like 3 days into the game, I was done with the story. I was just running around the world, maybe looking for flowers, picking the chest, and just killing the overworld enemies for echoes over and over and over again. In Arknights, I haven't found myself having to do something that is just repetitive for no reason. Like, where I'm just sitting there just going around picking flowers or just killing overworld. And I haven't found that yet. Every day I log on and I'm like, shit, I have a lot to do. I gotta build a factory because the factory must grow. You know, I gotta go around and explore. I gotta connect the energy to the freaking mining rigs. Oh, I gotta do all these quests that are gonna unlock this other area. Bro, I did a quest the other day. I thought I had all the mining spots. I did a quest that gave me some mining spots or something, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay. And I went in them, got to those areas and put the mining down. There is a lot of crap, right? When you play a mode and then you unlock, like, you're playing the mode, exploring through the mode, and then you randomly run into like a door, and you open the door and you see the massive door open, and it's a pathway to the beginning area, so you don't have to do an insane loop around the map. You're like, oh shit, I'm exploring and I'm making traversal smoother as I explore. I love the fact that in this game, and I'm a massive advocate for, I love flying in gacha games. I love vehicles. I wish we had vehicles in here, even if they're just stuck to the ground, because sometimes we've got to run a lot, but that's another topic. I love flying in my video games. I love double jumping, triple jumping, all of that crap. Wall running, I love that shit. I don't want none of that in Arknights Endfield. I don't. I don't want wall running. I don't want flying. I don't want quadruple jumps. I love the platforming in this game because it makes me feel like I'm exploring the game. It makes me think, how do I get to that area? I can't get over this ledge over here. How do I get to that area? Oh, I gotta go through here, unlock this door, blow up this wall, and then I get there, and then there's a bunch of loot. Instead of just running up the wall and then that's it. Woo! No, I don't like that. I'm not playing this game like a prepubescent kid that just wants a dopamine rush. I enjoy the thrill of, how do I solve getting to that area? How do I solve this puzzle? How do I get energy to this door so I can open this and cross the bridge? I enjoy that aspect of the game. So honestly, I've really enjoyed the way the world is and the traversal in this game.
There's nothing else to do. Which, speaking of which, it's time to get into that. The
Okay.
story. The story's abysmal.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. Y'all know me. If you're new to the channel, you're watching the reaction. I don't play story in gacha games. There might be some gacha games that have amazing story. I know someone's out here gonna say Wuthering Waves is the greatest story ever written, bro. It makes freaking Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Harry Potter seem like trash. I understand that. I know you guys love that shit. I don't like story in gacha games. I think everything and every single story in most gacha games is trash. I know there are the exceptions and there are games that have amazing story, but at least the ones I can think about, the ones we've been talking about here, Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, Arknights Endfield, they all suffer the same type of like generic fucking story where the MC is like some dude that forgot something. He got lobotomized at some point. He was Jesus before he freaking started the story, and now he doesn't remember who he is. And then, you know, you get introduced to the latest and greatest flavor of ice cream, the new waifu, and then the next one comes out, and it's just trash. Like, it might be good, they might have some peak cutscenes, but you gauge them on how good they are within the gacha scale. If you put any gacha story, for the most part, of these mainstream type of games, and you compare them to, like, a really good story, like, I don't know, The Witcher, God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted, any of those type of stories that build up the narrative, they're mid at best. At best. And since I haven't played the Arknights Endfield story because I skip everything, I can't comment on this too much. I will say there have been some cutscenes that have gotten me involved with what the hell's going on without knowing what the hell is going on. There were some cutscenes where a certain partner is, something interesting happens. Some very interesting things that have made me go like, oh, that's kind of cool. But other than that, it's just the generic, you know, gotcha slop of the story. You know, overpowered guy. He was baby Jesus. Got bumped in the head, forgot everything, and now he's friends with everybody trying to find out what the hell happened and where his sister is.
No other way to put it. The story has been a jargon convoluted fest with weird tones and how they communicate with each other. It's been also a glaze fest with the main protag surprise. The main protag's important. Like important to a cringe degree.
Yeah.
Every time is in Mr. Inman. Oh my, you know. But
Yeah.
it's gotten to the point where in the first 3 hours of the experience, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not keeping up with this. It's not worth it. And then every so now and then, I would look at the dialogue, see what they're talking about, and it would just be the same gotcha garbage quality dialogue. And I was like, yeah, nah, I'm doing a good deed here, just skipping the fuck out of this story. It's ass. Now, when we got to Wuling, I actually finally paid attention, and it was interesting at first.
Okay.
It was very interesting.
I want to point this out. When we got to Wuling, and I'm going to say this one more time, Wuling, a 1.0 area in Arknights Endfield, graphically and just the way the world and the map looks and what it's offering, will put any 1.1 area of your favorite gacha game to shame. An entire 1.1 update with the new region, new things of your favorite gacha games, be it Wuthering Waves, whether it's, you know, Genshin Impact, whatever. This region alone in this game will put it to shame. It'll make it look like it was made in 1994 by someone with cross eyes and one arm. This area, and I'm glazing it right now. Y'all gonna say I'm deep throating Arknights. Wait until you get to Wuling. It's another world, bro. It doesn't even, nothing looks like what you were just at. You're in a whole nother world, bro. It just looks different, bro. Aesthetically, the puzzles that you're doing, bro. You get to that main city and you're like, what the fuck? They have the Great Wall of Wuling, bro, that actually looks like the Great Wall of Wuling, the Great Wall of China. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. It looks crazy. Bro, you get to meet the main person from that area, and you're like, holy shit. You get to their office. I'm not saying no more. Just know it feels like an entire new world, and it's insane.
Meeting the new guy, and he ended up being part of, you know, well, actually, I don't want to spoil for everyone, but that part was Actually, very interesting. Immediately, like I was engaged in it. I also liked meeting the new girl, and I loved her personality and such. But it still was like that super mid gotcha storytelling
Yeah.
for me. For
Yeah.
me personally, I can only speak for myself. At the end of the day, I think they've got a lot to prove in terms of taking the story serious. They need to do a better job with their world building and how it functions. They need to do a better job with the communication and English voice acting, not sounding like it's just recorded lines or sounding like Cartoon Network. They've got some work. They do.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of work to do with this story, and honestly, in many different facets. And so for me, I thought the story was pretty damn ass. It picks up in Wuling, as people have said, but picking up from where it was isn't really saying much either. That's
I want to say one thing that he just pointed out, the voice acting. I think the voice acting in the game, the like actual acting does feel robotic sometimes. It feels very just like they're reading off lines, but the accent of the characters has been great. You'll talk to a character and he sounds very generic, like very flat, emotionless, and then there'll be another character that'll have Sofia Vergara fucking accent going on with their voice. Like, you can tell a lot of these characters sound different from one another, which is pretty cool. Usually a lot of these characters will sound very similar, all with the same tone, all with the same type of like not personality, but like expression levels, right? Whereas in this game, they have felt like they have a tone into their voice that has been really good, but they do feel like they're just reading off lines, so it comes off as very plain.
my best way to go at it with that. Now, I want to make sure we're perfectly clear here. That is different from lore, right? I actually hear from a lot of people that there's some lore in this game in terms of reading the items so that you can understand how things function and such, has actually been pretty damn good. And the lore in and of itself for Arknights tends to be very enjoyable for a lot of lore enjoyers. But that isn't the storytelling experience. That isn't what you're experiencing as you're going through the story. So that's worth pointing out, though. Yeah. This next segment, I was getting ready to cook a mode, but then I logged in and saw this, and this just goes into the free-to-play experience. So you get Ardelia, and then they give you the signature weapon for her, too. Fucking insane, bro. Like,
you get the best current support, like, healer character in the game, per se, which is a 6-star character, for free. And they also give you their signature weapon. And along that path, they give you a bunch of limited banner tickets that are not timed. These won't expire, and you can save them up, right? These are nice. These are smooth. But you get the best support character in the game right now with their signature weapon, which it's pretty damn solid. This is pretty good. Not just the character, but their signature weapon on launch.
Like the launch, like weapons, bro, you just can't argue. Okay, I got 2 more of those pulls too. You know what? Just because we're making this video, I might as well try and use those 2. Those are the 2 free pulls I told you. You are forced to use them on this banner. I might as well do it while I'm making this video. Maybe I get lucky on one of them, right? Maybe I don't. But I
want to point these things here. I don't know. My head is blocking it, so let me just show you what I want to point out. You see this sting right here? It says 21 headhunting attempts to get a free 10 urgent recruitments. Once he does 21 more headhunting attempts, he gets a free 10 pull in this banner, right? And then on top of that, once he gets, if he gets a 6-star character in these free 10 pulls, they don't count towards this. So it doesn't break your pity. It doesn't do anything, which is really, really nice. I really, really like that.
tell you what, we're going to use them and use this advantage. Watch this. It's going to turn red. Okay, yeah, this game's trash. Ignore everything I said in this review.
Dislike the game. Screw this game.
Game is a whole bag of shit. Now, what I wanted to talk to y'all about was one of these modes is an in-game mode. Oh my God, it's this. Dude, this mode, I'm just going to flat out say it. This is one of the most dog shit modes I've ever.
Hold on, I want to see
Dude,
something.
modes is an in-game mode.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's this. Dude, this mode, I'm just going to flat out say it. This is one of the most dog shit modes I've ever played. It is. This mode gives you really good rewards too, as you can see. I don't know if I don't know if this is weekly or what, or monthly, but you get some good stuff. Like you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 standard pulls, and you get 4, 8, 12, 16 20 or 2,000 ore barrel, which is 4 pulls. And then you get a shit ton of resources.
Yeah.
But the mode, my God, guys, the way it works is just, it's just, I can't, man. I put a couple of these in here. So you go in here, and I just want to explain it briefly.
Before he explains it, I'm really interested about this particular part because I love this game mode. And I'll tell you guys why I love this game mode. Like he said, I don't know if those rewards, I'm gonna just show you before we get into it. I want to see what he has to say, but I'll tell you what I think about it before he gives me his explanation, right? And then you guys tell me what you think. So here we are in the game mode, right? And I don't know if this is gonna reset like once a month. Like, I don't know how often this is gonna reset, or if it's even going to reset in the first place. But you, at least for this clear, you get quite a good amount of resources. I don't know if this is a one-time thing or what, but let's just talk about what we currently have in here. Like he says, we get a good amount of these oral barrel, which is pretty good, and we get a good amount of these standard banner tickets. So that's cool. So I'll take this as some kind of like endgame mode or something more advanced into it. If we click start exploration, not there. If we go right here, there'll be levels to it, right? There'll be different things that you got to do as you're exploring this. So think of this kind of like you go into the dungeon, and there are many different things you can do in the dungeon. And as you explore the dungeon, you'll have missions here, right, that you can select when you go into the dungeon. And for example, here you can see that you have to get these materials to get the bonuses, right? Not the bonus, the permanent bonuses for the game mode, right? So if you get all these materials that you can get from the different zones, because it's like an actual map, it's like a big-ish map with a lot of areas to go to and explore and do different things. So you get all of these resources by exploring this map, and the resources improve your gameplay and your experience within the mode, right? So for example, this one right here increases the capacity of the isolation container, which is going to allow you to carry more loot when you're in the mode, right? This one right here, precipitation nodules successfully brought out can be converted into more aurelene crystals. So this gives you more currency and more aurelene crystals from the currency you extract out of that game mode, right? This right here, operators enjoy higher max HP in the Valley Aberrants. So you go into this mode and you do all of these challenges, and as you're doing these challenges, it improves your gameplay every time you go into this mode. So like right here, you guys can see that I have some pretty big bonuses in here, right? My current derangement limit is 2,600. You start with 600. And you feel like they're in, like, up your ass because you gotta get out, or you're gonna get deranged. Basically, the way it works, you have this meter. Once it fills out and you get deranged, you'll finish the mission. You can be in front of a boss, which has happened to me before I started working on this. I'll be in front of a boss and I'll be deranged, and then you'll just extract. It forces you to get out of the mode, and you're forced to get out. So you keep progressing, you keep upping all of these buffs, and now I have 2,600, which I'm just chilling. Current isolation container capacity 40, current derangements tolerance 20%, industrial explosives that I can carry 50, defeating any enemy restores 100 skill points. So it starts off as a very like rough game mode, and the more you complete these quests, the better your experience is. And in the game mode, not only do you have these things here by completing these quests, that you're getting these. So you're getting Oral Barrel from completing these quests. You're getting Oral Barrel from this right here, right? You also have chests inside of the mode that give you Oral Barrel, like green chest, blue chest, gold chest, that gives you even more currency. Now, the way this works, I'll show it to you real quick. He's going to show it to us, I assume, because he's loading in right now. But I just want to show you guys real freaking quick. And I'll tell you the last bit of opinion regarding why I actually like this game mode. And I'll compare it to something else. So you go in, and as you can see, it's pretty much a whole map. I like this mode because I don't know if this is going to be your end game mode or one of the modes that you're playing, you know, weekly or whatever, or monthly. But when I compare this to like Tower of Adversity, right, in Wuthering Waves, or the same mode that is in Genshin Impact, where you just go in, you click a room, and it's like a circle. You go in the circle, you fight the enemies that come out, you click the next room, it's another circle, the enemies spawn, you kill them, you click the next circle, You go in, it's a boss, you kill it, you're done. It's boring, it's repetitive, there's no thinking that you have to do, there's no puzzle solving, there's no intricacies to it. There's no intricacies to it. Now with this right here, you guys can see this is the map, right? You can't just walk from here and instantly go into zone 3. You got to do multiple things and explore zone 1, then explore zone 2, and open up these, you know, travel points, and you got to open up these goddamn zip lines to get from point A to point A to travel a lot easier. And you get all these rewards, and you farm zone 1 for the materials for zone 1, zone 2, yada, yada, yada. And there's levels to it as well, right? There's levels to this that you guys can see. It's not just as simple as this. There's like other floors. There's verticality and stuff to it, and I find it pretty good. There's different things that you go in here. There are enemies, there are loot boxes, there are healing packs, and while it is more complicated and it does make you do more things than your general game mode, it's fun because you think, bro. I feel that people don't like to think, oh, I just want the fucking loot. I just want the fucking loot right now, bro, because my neck is itching and I want the goddamn summons. It makes me play like I'm playing a game to play the game. I don't give a shit about summons, bro. I could just drop my card on the game and summon 100 times. I want the game that's fun. I ain't somebody that's out here fucking I'm only having fun when I summon because I don't have summons, bro. No, I don't give a fuck about this. I want to play a game that gives me content, that gives me stuff to do. So being in this fucking mode and having to go around and be like, how the fuck do I open that door? How the hell do I get to area 3? Oh, I gotta go around and fucking unlock that zip line by killing that boss. That'll unlock that door. That I could do this. That is fun, bro. That is gaming, bro. That is actual gaming. I'm not getting forced to do so. It is a hobby. And the fact that it has substance is so much better than whatever fucking whack-ass gacha mode from your whack-ass gacha games you can throw at me that put you in a singular room with just enemies spawning on you. I can wipe my ass with those game modes, bro. Now let's see what he has to say.
You have to go and explore and find these little red things that keep a door locked. And then once you find all 4 of them, the door unlocks. But they have like this corrosive element to the mode. And it's a meter. And the more you step, as soon as you step outside of your little safe zone, this meter goes up.
Yeah.
And I guess you just start getting corrosive, or I don't know the correct term. But when you step out of this, let me just show it to you. As soon as I step out, look, you see this over here. It starts filling
right there.
out. When that hits 600, you get kicked out of the mode. I don't know if that sounds cool to you, if it sounds funny or not. Let me just tell you, you constantly feel like you're just rushing. You're just rushing and you're trying to find stuff. And then these little...
Like I said, guys, I want to point out that that is how you feel the first time, maybe the second time you go in, until you start doing the quest. Until you start doing these quests that can take you 1 or 2 runs to give you permanent increases, it'll feel like that. But I played yesterday. I played yesterday on stream for about an hour and a half. I got all of those rewards that I showed you guys, which was, bro, I played about an hour and a half, and I kid you not, I probably got like 2,000 oro barrel from opening the chest, from doing the quest, and from the rewards they give you up to the point where I got at. And in that hour and a half, I went from 600 of the derangement level to 2,600. 26, bro, if I was to go in here right now, right? Let me just show y'all the difference between my derangement level that I was able to upgrade by just playing one day for an hour and a half on stream, bro. An hour and a half, right? I want to show you guys. So he has 600, right? If I show you guys, his is right there, 600, right? So it's only at 600 because he's just doing it now, right? We go back to mine. Let's go through the cutscene, right? Let's go through the cutscene. Look at mine. Let me move my freaking chat, bro, because my chat is kind of in the way. Right there. 2,600, bro. Look at that. Bro. He's been there longer than me. I still don't even have, bro. I'm still outside. I still don't even have as much as he has on the video. And I'm still outside. Because I also leveled up my tolerance to it by doing a little bit of the exploration. Now I got what he has after all that time, ladies and gentlemen. So that's one of those things where the lack of knowledge of actually improving it is where you're like, oh, maybe I didn't know that, right? And it's all to personal preference. Maybe you still, even with all that information that I just said, maybe you still don't like that mode. But the first few times you play it, you do feel that sense of urgency. You're like, oh shit, I gotta run, I gotta get these materials, I gotta get to the next area, the first few times, like the first 3, 4, 5 times that you're running, getting the materials to upgrade. But after that, if you look at the missions and you do them, you're good. You're good. And even then, I will say, yes, when you first go in the first time or the second time, it does feel like you're rushing. He's 100% right on that. It does feel like you're rushing. For me personally, it wasn't as bad. I found it to be like a challenge, like, because you don't have limited entries, you don't have anything, right? So for me, it was more so like, how much can I do before I go to range, right? So I started having to think, do I fight those enemies? Because if you fight enemies or you open chests, your derangement meter goes up. So it was like, I need to get to the door, but if I fight all these enemies along the way, by the time I get to the door, my derangement is going to be cooked and I'm going to get forced out of the mission. So I would like try to avoid enemies. I wouldn't open certain chests, and I would try to get to the door so I could open it, or to the boss fight so then I could fight the boss, which was interesting. And it only, like, it happened continuously up to the point where I said, okay, I'm going to stop for a little bit and I'm going to focus on upgrading my derangement capacity. And I just did that for like, out of the 1 hour and a half that I played, I did a lot, not just increase my derangement capacity. I would say that I increased my derangement capacity for like 30, 40 minutes. That's it. And then the rest of the time I was doing all the other missions to get like more health or the bombs or more loot, stuff like that. So just want to throw that out there, that as a game mode, I think it's more intricate and fun than your typical, you know, game modes from like, let's say, Tower of Adversity, Whimpering Waste. Those are just, you go into a room, bro. How can, bro, as complex and intricate as this game mode can be, how can you say you prefer to just go into a room and fight enemies? How's that fun? How is that, like, bro, you do it one time. You do it one time and you've done it for the rest of the year. That's it. It's always going to be the one room with the enemies spawning. At least in here, it was like a map that I was exploring, trying to find the chest and all of that. It felt more intricate, bro, okay? It felt better.
Like color-coded things right here. They got bags and shit. You pick them up and then your bag storage gets full and then you're like, okay, what the fuck am I doing with that? I don't even know why I'm picking them up, really, to be honest. I just feel like this was the worst concoction of a mode, bro. Like, this does not feel good at all. And please comment down below. You let me know if you think I'm wrong.
I don't think he's wrong, because he's explaining it from what he knows at the moment of making this video. But even though he says that, and even though I'm saying he's talking about it from what he currently knows, what he says is still true. You do feel like you're rushing. Even as you're upgrading your derangement level, you still feel like you're rushing. Eventually, you get to a point where that no longer is the case. Matter of fact, if I were to go in there, I would probably be able to explore for like a good amount of time, like 20 minutes in there, like picking up shit without me worrying about my derangement level. And I'll probably have to just get out because I haven't filled up my derangement level, unless I really stayed there, fought every enemy, opened every chest and did everything, which you don't really need to do because you don't need materials from certain zones. So for a while, though, you do feel kind of rush, which is not even bad because you can just go right back in, right? We go into our normal games and we do the same dungeon for materials. So why not in here, where you can get a good amount of currency by just playing this mode and exploring this map that is like new to you?
If you think if I'm the odd man out here, holy fuck, bro, then I'm in the wrong space. Because when you're doing this, bro, this shit fills up so fast, and this mode is repetitive. You have to do it several times, like 8, 10 times just to fill up all your meter. So just imagine you constantly doing this. There was one time I was at the boss, fighting the boss, and this hit 600, kicked me out of the boss fight. Like I went
That happened to me
over
actually.
here,
Yeah.
there was a boss. I fought him. He was almost dead. This shit hit 600 and kicked me out. I had to go all the way back, fight the boss again, and you have to fight the boss before this fills up and kicks you out again. Then you're exploring, you're trying to find these little red things around the map to unlock a door. You find one or two, it hits 600, you get kicked out. Now you got to start off where you left off, but you start back here again. I'm just like, bro, what is the
I just want to point out that you open up shortcuts as you go. You open up zip lines. So it's not like if you've explored this map for like, 10 minutes and you get kicked out, it resets all of that exploration. All of the shortcuts you opened, all of the zip lines, all of the grapple hooks, all of that is opened, right? So like, for example, if he opened that door right behind him that he was just showing right here, right? If he opened this door and he was fighting that boss after he did a bunch of things inside of this mode, and he got kicked out while fighting it because his deranged meter got filled. If he goes back into the mission, the door is open. So he just got to go
you find
from
one or two, it hits
here, right here, which is where you start, to right here. So like from here to here, after you've opened the door, for example, which happened to me where I got sent back home while I was fighting the boss. But you just got to go from there
find one or two
to there. After you've opened the door, and even as you're getting the keys, you pick up 2 keys, you get kicked out, you don't have to go back and pick up those same 2 keys. Now you look for the other 2 keys that you didn't find, so you go to a different area of the map, right? And that's just how it works. So it's not like your progress gets reset. I want to point that out there. Sure, you could just stay around as much as you want, but when you get sent back, for the most part, it won't really fuck you overall too much, unless it's situations like what he faced and what I faced, which is where we're fighting a boss and we get sent back to the gulag.
600, you get kicked out. Now you got to start off where you left off, but you start back here again. I'm just like, bro, what is the point? Literally just remove this. You remove this, the mode ain't that bad. But right as of now, I don't know what they're cooking. I don't know what the fuck they're cooking with this mode. It is atrocious. And on that note, that's kind of what I meant when I said I wanted to do like a review kind of talking about all my sentiments. This is all in the first week, right? In the first week, I've had a great free-to-play player experience. I've had a phenomenal exceeded expectations experience with the factory system and the power grid expanding. That's completely new to me. So I'm having a new player's factory experience. Some of y'all might be factory veterans, and you're like, yeah, no, this shit ain't nothing, bro. You should play this game. I can only speak for myself, right? I've had a great experience with the game. I don't like the mint picking aspect. And what I mean by that, to ascend your characters, you have to go. And I guess we'll talk about that a little bit too before we outro out. To ascend your characters, you have to go around the map and find mushrooms and little materials, literally mint picking.
Yeah.
And then you can use those to level up your characters. I don't like that. I would literally much rather you give me a mode to where I do the mode for stamina to get the mats to level my character up like every other gacha game.
We do have that. You do need certain materials from the stamina modes. But why is it bad that, why is it bad that we gotta go to these points in the game to pick up the resources, grab them, and use them to level up certain aspects of our character, right? I just want to point 2 things out. One, there are so many spots in the game that you don't really have a problem leveling up your characters. That's the first thing I want to point out. There are so many spots in the game that you can go to pick up your resources for the characters. Like, I just want to show you, for example, real quick. Let's say we're talking about the hub. And no, we're not talking about the hub you guys like going to. Let's go ahead and take this off. All of these spots that you guys see right here, like these, right? These are the places that you go to get resources, right? These right here. These, and you could see there is quite a lot, bro. There's quite a lot of these places where you go to get resources. Right there, right there, right here. And they're all across the map. And there is quite a bit. And so far, I personally haven't had an issue with leveling up my team. I haven't gone and leveled up 4, 5, 6 teams. I've leveled up my team, and I haven't ran out of resources. And I just want to throw one more thing in there, and that is that in your ship, you're able to grow those same resources. Those resources refresh. They're on a timer, so you can keep going to those locations and pick up more materials. But if that wasn't enough, let's say you wanted more for some reason, you can also grow them in your ship. Right now, with my current level, I'm able to get 6 of these mushrooms. Once I level this up, I'll be able to put another person here that makes this go by even faster, right? I'll level these up and they have like passives right here. So for example, her, oh, whoops. Assigned to grow chamber to grant vitrified plant growth rate plus 20%, which is another extra additive. Right now I have her right here, right? Great mineral growth rate plus 10. And I'll be able to add another character in here down the line that will give me some bonuses to that too. And once I get to level 3, I'll be able to grow 9 of this resource every time. 9 of the resource, which is pretty damn good. And it'll be faster than what you're currently seeing. I put this not too long ago, actually, on the stream. So being able to pick them from the overworld and also being able to grow them on your ship already gives me a better income than if it was a stamina item, because for stamina items, for example, we already have a bunch of things that we can go ahead and do, right? Like we have XP materials, we have promotion materials, which is going to be used right here to promote operators. We have credits, we have this that you actually need for the skills of your operators. So we already have all of these activities like your typical gacha game where you're normally using your actual stamina, your daily stamina. And we, on top of that, we have like the weapon progression materials. We have the bosses right here that you get to fight for, also good resources. You have more shit over here, the crisis drills, which is more stuff, right? You got this right here, which you're going to be able to get and get even more stuff. So we look at all of this and it's like, okay, do you want to add one more item that you're going to have to farm with your stamina, or simply go around for a few hours, not even hours, go around for a couple of minutes, a few minutes, pick up these mushrooms whenever you need them. You know, you can do this for like a week every day, and then you'll probably have enough to fully upgrade your team, because it's not like you need like, let's say 5 of these to upgrade one character from, let's say 60 to 70, and then at 70 you need a different resource. So at that point, any over, you know, amount that you have of these will only be for the characters you're taking from 60 to 70. You won't need like 300,000 of these. And the fact that you can grow them on your ship honestly offers a nice little addition of extra income. And I think it would suck ass if it would just be put into another stamina place where now I gotta, you know, break up my stamina into another activity, personally.
Because the thing is, they tried to do it in a way to where it's like, I guess it's different, but it's just fucking annoying. There's no way to put it. And in here, I like what they're cooking up in here, because it's like, oh, so I can evolve my little spaceship.
Wait, one more thing. I don't think it's different. We have the same mechanic in games like, for example, Wuthering Waves, right? Where in Wuthering Waves, to upgrade a character's skill, you'll have to, or weapon or whatever, you'll have to go and kill certain mobs in the open world to get certain specific items that you'll use to then upgrade your character skills or abilities or whatever it is in WoW. I don't exactly remember off the top of my head, but you also gotta basically go around the world killing these enemies to get resources. So you still gotta explore. At least here, you don't gotta go around killing enemies. You fast travel, run a little bit to these locations, pick the mushroom, go to the next one, do this a couple of times a day, and you're done. You're done, right? So this is not something new, innovative. We have this on games like WoW and Genshin.
And then my spaceship allows me to grow some of those materials that I don't want to go out in the wild and fucking find, but I have to. It allows me to grow those and then come in here and collect them. But then you come in here and collect them, and it's 3 and 1 and 6 and 1. I'm like, what the fuck I'm gonna do with this? You need like 5 of its evolution just to level the character up. And if you want to level your whole account up, bro, this is just booty, right? It's not enough. Now, of course, if I upgrade it, it might get better and better, right?
Yeah.
We still got to unlock more cabin. And so maybe I'm jumping the curve. Maybe this gets a bit better and gives you a bit more, and it's not so bad. But all in all, it does sound like more work to level up your characters. And maybe in that aspect, it's because it's trying to point you potentially to a shop or something. I don't fucking know.
Nah, I don't think it's trying. I mean, at the end of the day, it might, right? Like, I'm sure that you can buy the materials to level up, but at least for me personally, and for the people that are in my community, none of them have really felt like they're down bad. They're beating all the content, no problem. They all got like level 80 characters. Some people in my chat got like level 90 characters with gold gear. If you are some of those with level 80s or level 90s, let me know in the chat right now. But the only way this would point you towards like maybe spending money is if you want to build like 5-6 teams, or like 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, which you don't need in this game right now. So it would just be for your personal preference. But personally, the fact that you got to go in the overworld, pick up the items, and then at the same time you can grow them just gives you a little bit of extra income. This is not meant to be like insane, just a little bit of extra depth and extra things to do in the game, which is pretty cool, I think.
It could be some gacha garbage disguised. They do things like that that are like calculated in terms of insufferable, just so you can go to the shop and buy something. That's possible. I do like this. I love the foundation of this ship just doing this for you. I don't like going out in the wild to find this because it's micromanaging and I need it to level up my characters. I don't like that.
Just to clarify for my Wuwa players, we have that in Withering Waves, don't we? Where we gotta go around and kill certain enemies that drop certain items that you need, like a lot of them, to level up your character. Sure, we get boxes of them from like events and stuff, but we do have that in Withering Waves, where we gotta do that. At some point, you stop feeling it because you've killed so many enemies and you farmed so many echoes that you have an overflow of these items with a bunch of boxes from events. But I'm sure it will happen here too, right? And it's like, it's very similar in that aspect, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's there as well, where we need specific items from specific enemies in the overworld to be able to level up our characters. Those same items you can actually buy from the shops with like in-game currency and stuff, from the shops, a certain amount of them. So just pointing that out.
I think we need a bit more resources to level up our roster. I think the whole notion of you can't level up your whole roster because this is a gacha game needs to fucking die in a ditch. Okay, let me level up my entire goddamn roster. You'll actually make more money. I guarantee you will. Because
okay, but here's the thing. Yeah, I agree. Let me level up my whole roster, but let me level up my whole roster in the first week of playing the game right away. You know what would need to happen in order for that to be a thing? The stamina system would need to be removed from the gacha game. And not just this game, just games in general, right? If we want to be able to fully level out our roster, we would need to remove the gacha system within gacha games. And, well, that's one of the shit aspects of gacha gaming. That stupid-ass gacha system. I actually dislike the gacha system, the stamina system within gacha games more than the actual gacha, more than the actual character summoning. The stamina system is dog ass, straight up dog water. So yes, but at the same time, you know what would happen? DNA would happen. Duet Night Abyss would happen, where we don't have that stamina system and you can grind no life, non-stop, for the resources to level up your character. And then that's where someone comes out and says,
well, actually, I have a wife, I got 4 kids, I have 3 jobs, 4 cows, I have a baby dog, I have a baby horse, and I don't have time to play this game for 8 hours a day, so this system is trash.
you can't win. You can't win. Because we have that in Duet Night Abyss. In Duet Night Abyss, we can grind the game for as many hours as you can and level up your characters as much as you want. From level 1 to level 80, your entire fucking roster. And guess what happens? People come at me with that, right? So that's when people would actually come out and start bitching, right? So I agree with Gacha Smack, but that goes into, let's just throw out the whole gacha concept out the window. Fuck the gacha characters, fuck the gacha weapons, fuck the stamina, and give us a game where we get to play the game with what we want. But simply, the truth is, that's not the market we're in. And being able to level up all your characters, all of them, all their weapons, all their skills, everything within a week would either require an insane amount of grind that people would bitch about, or just, I don't know, bro, give it time, and within a month, you'll have all 3 of your teams leveled up with gold gear, which is not that bad either, right? So I agree, but at the same time, I don't think it's really applicable to this particular type of game genre.
people will be using a lot more teams and having a lot more fun, which will point to them spending more money. I guarantee it'll happen. Like this whole
Yeah, sure, but DNA's content is not even closely as good as this game. Yeah, but that's also subjective, which is kind of what we were talking about. Personally, I agree this content is way more engaging, but someone will still say they enjoy content like DNA. So just like they say that, and then others will say no, they don't, The same will happen here. You and I might think the content in this game is way more engaging, way more fun than all these other games, but someone will still hit you. The same guy that has 2 wives, 14 kids, a dog, a cat, and a baby horse, and is so busy that he can't play DNA, he'll give you that same excuse here and be like, I don't have time to play this game, so it sucks that everybody else can just no-life it and get all their characters leveled up, but I can't do that. So it's just one of those scenarios where it's like, it's just the shit that comes with these type of games, you know?
Oh, I got all these characters, but I can't level them up. I just can't with that. Apart from those like criticisms though, I think Arknights Endfield has a very solid game on its hands. I think they do. The factory system blew my mind. I never expected that shit to like impact it that much. I didn't go that hard on it in the beta. And so I didn't know the depth of what it can bring in terms of a packaged game. I know that now. The powering grid, setting up relay towers, and then zip lining, I like that. I don't like putting a pylon next to the zip line. I think that's the dumbest shit ever. I don't think I should have to power a fucking zip line, bro. Just let me zip. Stop making me put pylons next to zip line.
Bro, I will agree with that. Tell me how I was exploring the map and I put a zip line down and that shit had no energy, and I was like, the fuck you mean my zip line needs energy? What the fuck? Since when? Yeah, that shit's ass. Why the hell I zip line need energy, folk?
Lines. Another gripe, man. But now the complaints are coming out. Now that I'm like recollecting some things.
Yeah,
the game's far from perfect, right? It is.
Okay, see, that's one of the things that I like. In this video, I've agreed with a lot of takes from Smack. I've disagreed with some takes, but at no point has he disrespectfully attacked the game where it's like just blatant shit. And even the things where he said, oh, I don't like this, he said maybe when I upgrade it or do more, it'll be different, right? And like he just said, bro, this game is not perfect. No game is perfect, especially not a gacha game, bro. Especially not a gacha game. And honestly, I think it's really good when you're able to sit down, point out what you've liked about the game, and criticize it, but criticize it as a grown, mature individual, not when you're throwing shit at the game and you're using expressions and words that are specifically made to either, like, agitate the community, disrespect the players, disrespect the devs, generate aggro towards the community and towards the game. I feel that a lot of us content creators that are grown up in, look, I'm gonna talk to whoever you are. I feel that a lot of us content creators that are grown as adults with hair in our ass, you might not need to know that, but your favorite content creator has a hairy ass, yes. We have to stop pretending that we don't know what we're doing when we talk a certain way to our audience, or when we use certain words and certain titles and certain things in our videos, and pretend that we don't know why we do them, or we don't know why we're getting certain backlash. I know when I use clickbait titles. I know when I use inflammatory titles. I know when I'm an asshole to express certain things I want to say. I know when I'm being condescending. I know all of that. So I'm tired of content creators being assholes, condescending, using rage bait, using all these tactics, and then they get called out, and instead of having balls and saying, yeah, I know I did that shit, I'm doing that shit because I'm trying to get that money. Fuck you mean, right? They come out and be like, I don't know why they would say that about me. I like, all I do is talk good about it. What I'm doing is for the betterment of the game. Meanwhile, they'll be shit talking the game with the biggest rock hard cock while they're talking about it with passion. They'll be shit talking the game with intensity. And then they'll say, yeah, but the game is good. I think the game is good. I think this game would actually do good if it was this. That's the compliment. And then the bad side, this game is trash. Fuck the developers. The gacha is garbage. Worst launch of all time. Look at this. Why would they add this? Are they retarded? Like they go into a way deeper hate than what they do to promote the game. I'm tired of content creators doing that shit. They be acting like pussies on the internet and not looking at what they're doing and understanding why it is that people look at them a certain way. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a grown-ass content creator like Smack, where he's saying he doesn't like certain aspects of the game, and he doesn't like this and that, but he's doing it in a very civilized, well-explained, manner where he's saying, I don't like this. Maybe if they did this, it was better. I think this mode is bad because of this, this, and this. Rather than the developers suck, they're dumb. Why would they add that? What the hell were they thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way, it's not the message oftentimes. It's the way you give the message. Saying that you don't like the gacha system because of this, this, and that is fine. Saying this is the most retarded gacha system of all time. Devs are retarded. They're just trying to steal your money. They're pathetic. I feel that that's a different way to like deliver the message. And if any human being thinks that that's a better way to talk to grown, mature people, they clearly aren't that grown and mature themselves. I'm just saying.
I've had a 8 to 8.5 out of 10 experience with this launch. I have. Apart from its flaws, you know, the gacha garbage,
I have never felt more addressed as an adult than you with the ass hair.
I told you guys, I'm never going to sit here and try and convince you dog shit is better than dog shit.
Yeah.
To me, I think that is just a lack of intelligence. It's like,
I said that same thing. The gacha system on this game, that game, or your favorite game is all dog shit. So stop defending it and being on a high chair. Yeah, bro, Arknights Enfield's gacha is just atrocious. It's so bad. But my beautiful Wuwa, oh yeah, my beautiful Wuwa, that has the best gacha system of all time, bro. Like, this shit is so good. I wish this was like Wuwa on top, baby. But Arknights suck. Stop doing that, bro. You sound like you have a dent in the back of your fucking head, bro. I'm just telling you that.
We can sit here and talk about how dog shit is better than dog shit, but at the end of the day, you're still eating shit.
Yeah, I said that same thing every single time. I said that at the beginning of this video. I said that yesterday when we were talking about the bullshit, and I said that today.
No, but apart from that, I think the game's got good bones. I do. I think the game's got great bones. I am impressed because I didn't think I was going to play this game for long.
Bro, I said that on my stream. The only reason I'm playing Arknights Endfield, chat. The only reason I'm playing Arknights Endfield is because over the past month, over the past 2.5 months, I've been playing Duet Night Abyss. And almost every day, there'll be someone on my stream. Are you going to play Arknights? Are you going to play Arknights? Are you going to play Endfield? How about Endfield? And I was like, okay, fuck, I'll try it because it seems a lot of you want me to play the game. And, well, I went into it thinking there's going to be some dog-ass game, another gacha slop where I'm going to go in, get my summons, run around, picking up candy bars and Tic Tacs and, you know, a stupid-ass gacha story. And that I am addicted, and I think this is the best looking, optimized gacha game out there by a mile. And then on top of that, I think it's also a lot deeper and a lot more than just a gacha game. A lot more, which seems to be a problem nowadays. We faced it with Duet Night Abyss, which is nowhere near even remotely close to the quality of this game, but it has its own features that make it more than a gacha game. Getting free characters, free weapons, the unlimited amount of grinds you're able to do, you know, pointing it closer to a game like Warframe. And now we got this game that is, you know, a gacha game, but it has all these intricacies and this factory system which points it into a different direction than your traditional gacha game, and it's also getting shit on. So it would seem to me that your typical gacha gamer is, you know, just a gacha gamer, not a actual gamer. They're just there for the dopamine rush, and they're not there to game. They're there to see how fast they can get a hard-on by pulling their latest waifu, and that's it. And then if they don't get that dopamine rush right away, they don't want to deal with extra intricacies, extra things, and extra activities within these games.
I thought, play it on the launch, probably fuck off after that. I'm now fully committed. It's going into the wheel. It is. This was a non-sponsored impressions review. I wanted to get this out so that people know how I feel about the game. In short, I think you will love it if you like the factory system. You've heard this from other people. You've heard it from me. You've heard it from a lot of people. It is true. If you don't like the factory system, if you don't like the power grid dynamic, I don't think this game's going to be for you, man. I think if you take those out of the game, then you just got a gacha game where you just pull on the characters, play the characters, get off the fucking game.
Look, the gacha, the stamina system, the factory system in this game does add a whole nother layer to the game. But once again, guys, with this particular thing, I have to make sure that you guys understand it's not a thing where you have to sit there and play Satisfactory on this game all day and make your super factories. I don't engage with this factory system like that. And I still love this game. I do engage with it. And parts of the system I love. For example, I love exploring and taking the power lines to these remote areas and putting down the mining rigs and seeing my resources go up. That's dope. I like that. But the actual putting down the tracks to see the materials go up, that's some shit I don't enjoy, right? I will use people's blueprints to build my base, maybe tweak things here and there. I have homies that have helped me out a lot with this game. My girlfriend helped me out because she also likes the factory shit. Me personally, I don't like it, so I don't engage with it as much. But when I do engage with it, I see how it's very well done, very intricate, very deep, and it just makes me feel good that it's in the game, even though it's something that I don't enjoy. It gives the game more depth, more variety, and more things to do at the end of the day.
Right. But if you take out the pull on the banner and pull on the characters, if you even take out the combat, I'd still play the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd still play the game. And I think that's an important dichotomy.
I just want to point that out. That's how deep, intricate, and well done the factory system is in this game. This man just said, take out everything, leave the factory, and I'll still play that shit. That's how well done the factory system is in this game, where it's pretty much an entire game within the game. I said this before when it comes to the factory system. A lot of people don't know how it works, so they'll have a superficial taste of it and they'll hate it, right? But others will love it. When it comes to the factory system, until you really understand it and learn how to walk around it, whether it's heavily getting involved or, you know, tiptoeing around it like I do, it's going to be a system where you're either going to hardcore love it like Gacha Smack, or you're going to hardcore hate it like, you know, random John in the corner. It's not going to be an in-between, right? You got to learn how to navigate it and how you really want to get involved with it. But for most people, I feel that in the community, it's either they love it, or they hate it. That's just the way it is.
Dichotomy and duality, if you will, of perspective versus perception, right? That's going to wrap it up. Peace, love, and happiness.
Very, very good video. I really wish that at some point, maybe when I get a little bigger, I get to sit down and talk to Smack about a lot of things. I feel that it would provide some like actual smart conversation, where you can actually talk and look into intricacies of these type of games. But we'll see what the future holds for my channel and my growth. For now, guys, I do hope you've enjoyed this video, my reaction. I try to give as much of my perspective in this video as I could, because honestly, very, very good video. Shout out to Smack once again. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and stay tuned. And if you guys want me to react to more videos, let me know. In my channel, we have a react tabs, even though most people, for some reason, send them to me on DMs. But yeah, man, thank you for watching, and peace.